Welcome to the inaugural edition of TK's Take. We were supposed to start on December 1st. However, because I'm a perfectionist, I wanted my opening video, theme song, all of that. And although I have those things, the events that have taken place over the past 2 to 3 weeks has caused me to put all that stuff on the back burner and talk about what's really going on right now. Donald Trump, as I said yesterday, is making it extremely difficult for Americans who are living abroad. I feel like I have a target on my back because I'm an American. And I do not believe that all Americans hate Muslims. His speech is tantamount to Hitler. You want to restrict people's movements. You want mosques infiltrated simply because they practice a different religion. I don't see how that is any different than Adolf Hitler. And if you can't see that, then I would advise you to read as much as you can about Adolf Hitler and then come back and talk to me. This is wrong. You are supposed to be the home of the free and the land of the brave. Funny that today is the 150th anniversary of the 13th Amendment, which finally made someone that looks like you and I no longer 3/5 of a person. Donald Trump will tell you he's not a bigot. Your whole campaign has been about the illegal immigrants. You want to put a wall down across the Mexican border. Oddly enough, though, you don't feel the need to put one at the Canadian border. I'll let you guys infer what you will from that. However, as far as Islam goes, what he is proposing, and I want people to understand this, that means if Muhammad Ali, one of the most revered men in American culture, a man the United States government sent to Iraq to get hostages freed, if he should decide, I want to take one last trip to Mecca before I die, because Muhammad Ali is a Muslim and leaves the country, he would not be allowed back in. Of course, that would be if what Donald Trump wants to do were allowed. It won't. Even if he did it as an executive power, it wouldn't stand. The problem that I'm having is I'm seeing people who are absolutely agreeing with him. And no one stopped Hitler because he's crazy. Nobody's going to listen to him. People are listening to him. And again, you're talking about saving the homeland, and that's great. Save the homeland. But you put a target on everyone's back by condemning a whole religion. You could tell Barbara Walters all you want that you're not a bigot. That's bigotry. When you make a sweeping indictment against an entire ethnic group, an entire religious group, or people based on their sexual orientation. Now, normally this show is going to be an hour long. We will have guests. We're going to do a lot of fun things too. But my fundamental reason for beginning TK's Take from the beginning was because Americans and the world by large get fed this bullshit story from the media. And it's ridiculous. You've got the View viewers those two chicks, I think they're from North Carolina, standing up on stage looking like stage monkeys for Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't care about the average black person. Donald Trump doesn't care about anybody that's not white, if you ask me. It's my personal opinion. Donald, if you want to find me, Hodge Inc. will interview you. You love to have a microphone and camera in your face. I don't see how you turn this down if it should get to you. But I also want to take the time out to say that, okay, American citizen but German born. And Time magazine chose Chancellor Merkel as the person of the year, citing how she handled the influx of Syrian refugees who were being abused in Hungary, kicked out of countries that did not want them. And Chancellor Merkel opened the borders to any and all who wanted to come. She also helped fix Greece and their bankrupt behinds. And she seems to be the only person on the globe to be able to yank Vladimir Putin's chain and get him to sit down. So, shouts out to Chancellor Merkel. If you ever listen to TK's Take, you will know that I initially, when she said, we'll take 800,000, that's more than any other country. The United States is sitting here quibbling about taking, I think, 25,000 refugees, and they have to be vetted. If I were a terrorist, I'd just come in on your stupid visa program and kill that way. I'm not going to sit for 2 years when I'm in desperate need of help. Those are not the people that you need to be worried about. But I digress. The United States is the only country that is not led by a dictator that is constantly thumping its chest saying, we're the greatest nation in the world. The world looks to the United States as to how to do business. No, the hell they don't. They think that your God-given right is not a gun, like your Second Amendment says. Your God-given right is health care. Your God-given right is security. Your God-given right is to marry whomever you want. We don't care. It's only the United States, who was supposed to be founded on religious freedom, that keeps bringing religion back into the Constitution. The United States is supposed to be a republic. People say, we're a democracy. You're a democratic republic. The United States was set up so that states would govern themselves. They took the model after the Greeks and Romans. Learn your history. Right now, the United States cannot claim that it is an democratic republic. It's an oligarchy. And what an oligarchy is the top 1%, the richest people in the country, they control the country. Elections are bought nowadays, not won. There has to be some fundamental changes. And instead of worrying about bombing the you-know-what out of this country or that, how about we stay home? Even though we caused the mess in the Middle East, stay home. You're about to have a race war on your hands if you're not careful. It doesn't give me any pleasure to bash the United States. It doesn't. God help me. I have to leave London to return to a life in the United States, albeit temporarily. I still have to return. You know how you make America great again? You start off by trying to do what your so called forefathers did: separation of church and state. You can't have a madman as the leader of the free world. When Benjamin Netanyahu says, listen, he's fighting Muslims every day. No, we don't agree with that. It's the first thing I've agreed with Bibi Netanyahu since probably he's had any role in Israeli government. But like I said, yes, my show is more political than anything else. But because of the way it used to be set up, I had to do sports or politics. Well, now I can do sports whenever I want. I'm no longer handcuffed. Going forward, yeah, we're going to have our theme music. I could have had it played. We had one written, actually. And we have an intro video, and we'll do all that. But this, right here, today, I could not wait anymore for perfection, for the aesthetic look. Because that's not really what it's all about. I am here trying to talk sensibly to people, to tell you the truth. I'm not gonna, start pulling abstract things out of my ass like Ben Carson. The Ayatollah, listen to this one. See what happens when you do something live. The Ayatollah and Vladimir Putin went to the same college. Do you understand how preposterous that is? And yet, he's second in your polls. Bill Maher is right. Americans need more time. The French election, 2 weeks. A British election, 5 weeks. Why? No, they pretty much have their shit together over here. The United States needs that long, elongated process because, as Bill Maher said, if it was short, well, Donald Trump would already be president of the United States. And if I were there, I'd be on my way here, London, England. Shout out to London. And if he does become president, I will leave prematurely. And I will never return. I will renounce my United States citizenship and I will never return. If I do, it would be on a United Kingdom or German passport. A lot of you out there don't vote. Those of you who don't, I tell you, you don't have the right to complain. You do not have a right to complain if you don't vote. Those who were committed of a crime, and we know how bent and crooked the justice system is, you're allowed to because they've taken away your right to vote. I'm against that because jail is supposed to be rehabilitation, and obviously you should be reassimilated into society. Well, if you don't have a voice, what does it matter? So, you're allowed to complain. It's a rough time. I should be happy. I'm coming home with my son, a beautiful wife. And this is what I'm coming back to. more shootings, more killings, more of this hateful rhetoric. And you wonder why people just outright hate America. And they'll tell you, oh, it's because it's our way of life. No, you're hate mongers. I bet you this video won't get passed around nearly as much as someone getting their ass beat or somebody who is, again, railing off. You're never going to see me up here yelling and screaming and all of that. I'm going to talk to you sensibly. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you where I get my facts from so you can go and check them. I'm not out here trying to paint this picture for you that will make you think like I do. I'm just going to give you the truth and let you decide for yourself. Like, finally, somebody said, those ISIS beheadings, not all of them, but some of them are Hollywood-style editing. They want you to think that they're scarier or badder than they really are. It is what it is. The media lies to you. I long for the days, albeit before I was born, where they had investigative journalism, where they had people willing to go to jail to protect their sources. People wanted to know the truth. And the free press, I'm not a proud American. How can I be? I brought my kid here because I didn't want him shot dead in the streets. And now Daesh or ISIS wants me to live in fear. I'm not going to do that. That's why I went back to Paris. They win when you live in fear. Now, I'm not saying walk around blissfully ignorant, but I'm not afraid of anything. Not from ISIS, I should say. But as far as the rhetoric that's being spewed from his own mouth, right now, if Hillary Clinton is not drafting her acceptance speech and her inaugural address, I don't know what she's doing. She's probably high-fiving with Bill or whatever. This is actually the best thing that could happen for the Democratic Party. Donald Trump's party has turned against him, so he may run independent. And 68% of his followers, who probably aren't registered to vote or mostly from Alabama, said that they would vote for him. And so let him go and run independently. He's going to take some Republican vote with him. And then there you have it. I know some of you are like, but we don't want Hillary. When you're choosing the lesser of the two evils, I promise you, you want Hillary Clinton over any Republican. And you want anybody over Donald Trump, but Hillary. All right, so that's going to basically conclude, I guess, the first episode of TK's Take. Like I said, sometimes it's going to be longer. We're going to do, we'll be doing some live streaming. We'll call in. We will have guests. I couldn't let this go on unchecked, unspoken any longer. I'm worried for the United States of America. You look like a bunch of hate mongers. And the one thing that I will say about other nations, Donald, I don't know how rich he's going to be after this campaign. Muslim countries are calling for, and we're talking moderates. Like in Jordan, you wouldn't be able to tell a Muslim from any other Western person. They're not extreme. They have coin, and they're not buying this stuff. If black people could band together like that, that would be a beautiful thing. We've got to come together, though, as a people and stop the self-hate that was put on us during slavery. I hate when I see light-skinned, and I don't use that word, be like, or black skin, blah, 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 be like. First of all, be like is not standard English. That's the first thing. Second thing, stop hating on each other. As long as we stay divided, again, they win. So I got. My show used to be weekly. We could post every day if we want. So, same time, same place, doesn't really apply. You can pick us up anytime you want. It'll always be informative. It will always be the truth. And most importantly, it will always, always be real. So I'm going to leave you as I left every other show. I'm not going to sit here and try to preach to you the Christian religion, none of that. I'm going to tell you this. If we could live by the 10 Commandments and skip the first 4 because that has to do with a relationship with God. But if you could take the final 6, which is how you treat your fellow man, the entire planet would be a different place to live. And so the only thing that I ask of anybody who watches this or anybody who's ever heard me is this. Try to deal with someone that is completely different from you. Just to tolerate them. If we can do that, we can start changing hearts and minds one at a time. And if this changes the heart or mind of one person, I've done my job. Thank you for this impromptu version of TK's Take. I am your host, TK the Great. You could have spent this past 25 minutes looking at anybody and listening to anybody that you wanted. But for whatever reason, you chose me. And I am thankful for that. And I always will be. TK, out.